Welcome back, my ravenous rebels, to another episode of Tundra Witch Doctor in the Kitchen. This is our summer solstice episode, so happy summer solstice to everyone. I hope you are having a great time on what will be the longest day of the year. So the normal disclaimer: if you're under 21 and that you're in the US, don't drink. If you're in another country and watching, follow their drinking guidelines, please. You had noticed in the beginning of the video, we started off slightly differently with some artwork. One of those pieces will be given away to a follower or subscriber or somebody watching. You have until the next episode to post on the YouTube platform for this channel, for this video, where you're watching from and what has been your favorite episode so far. And next week, when we go to film next week's video, actually it'll be the week after because we film a little bit early, we will choose somebody and they will get one of those pictures sent to them. So good luck. I'm not going to tell you which one it is yet. And we will move on. So up here where I live, we call it Land of the Midnight Sun. So our food today, we are doing kind of a treat, a homemade pico de gallo, but it is made with spruce tips, very common up here, very healthy, but very seasonal too. Very yummy, very high in vitamin C. So we're adding that to the pico, and we are doing an edit on a drink called the Midnight Sun. There are several versions of this drink. The one we wanted to do was cranberry juice with a float of black vodka. You can't find black vodka up here, no matter how hard you try. We do get limited stuff, and when it comes in stock lately, you better grab it while we have it. And that's just bare, regular rums, things like that. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the show. If this is your first video or your 10th video, please subscribe, like, hit the bell. You have to pay attention to how you hit the bell now. Apparently there's a way. If you don't do it right, it's not going to give you updates for all the videos. But we enjoy having you part of our family on this channel. All right, so this recipe calls for between 3 and 4 diced fresh tomatoes. So I'm gonna go ahead, get these all chopped up on my new cutting board I got for this show. And we will add them to our bowl over here, and I'll be back. You need 3/4 cup of onion. Now here's the thing. We tend to use these gigantic white sweet kind of onions in this household. And I don't know how much 3/4 cup makes, but we will get it cut up. I will put it in the glass there to measure it, so I know how much we're using. But I did get my tomatoes done, and they do look like that. All right, so we have our onion cut for the 3/4 cup of onion, maybe slightly more, because there's a whole lot of tomato in there. Let me tell you, that one big bulb that I had right here, it takes a lot less than you think to make 3/4 cup of onion. So we're just gonna add that right there, call it good. And next up, if you're out of state, you may have trouble with this part. Next, we are doing our spruce tips here. When I use the spruce tips in this recipe, I like to cut them down just a little bit, because one big spruce tip doesn't look as appealing to some people. But for those of you that might be out of state and haven't heard of this, spruce tips grow in the spring up here. And they are one of the best sources of natural vitamin C that come out of the state. And, oh, that smells so, so good. It has such a good smell. And a really good taste. Yes, those are good. All right, back in a minute. Okay, our spruce tips are all done. They look like this when they're chopped up. You do want to chop them up, because if you're not careful and you end up with a couple of them, they're already starting to get a little bit sweet and sappy. Just a natural thing that happens up here. So next is the minced garlic. I have found this garlic mincer has become my new best friend. Oops. You can just pull out this skin once it's all done. So a Pico recipe this size usually calls for just 2 cloves of garlic. Around here, that's not gonna be enough. So we're gonna go ahead, go with 4. So it didn't work out as smooth as we had hoped, but it's still working great. That's what it's looking like so far. I'll bring it back for the next ingredient in a minute. All right, so our next ingredient here is a single jalapeno pepper. And let me tell you, the store had slim pickings, so this must be a popular recipe for right now. Either that or everyone's grabbing them to make jalapeno poppers on the grill, homemade ones. So 1 jalapeno pepper itself doesn't seem like quite enough, so I did grab 1 sweet orange pepper that I have that I'm just gonna chop up and add to this. Okay, so next up we do have the cilantro. This I do know how to guesstimate how much I have. And believe me, I like cilantro. There was a time in my life where I wasn't using it very much because of other complaints, but now I'm in a much better place. So we're gonna go ahead and add this. All right, and we're to our last couple of ingredients. You need about 1/4 cup lime juice. Now this last ingredient for Pico doesn't get used in a lot of people's Pico recipes, but I like to add 1 shot of a silver rum. And today we are using the Susa rum. I would prefer Patrons, but for what they want and the fact they only had the big bottles in, yeah, we're gonna use Susa. Okay, and to give you a quick look at what it looks like when it is all done, it is a little bit juicy, but that is good. And it smells amazing, guys. Can't wait to try this. All right, and we're here to make the drinks now. Couple things with this. So the original recipe for this particular Midnight Sun that I was looking at, I basically had to change the entire recipe, which is, you know, just something we do here. Not a big thing. The original one called for 60 mLs of cranberry juice and a float of black vodka, which to me sounded, oh, that's gonna be pretty good. However, we cannot find black vodka up here in this state, but I did find a lavender. So, but a lavender wouldn't work on cranberry juice because the colors are so close, and the lavender might actually be lighter than what the cranberry juice would be. So we're switching to a peach mango, and we're gonna add some Angostura bitters to it. So hopefully, this will turn out to be pretty good. And since the ones that I'm sending for travel does not have ice in it, even though this is nice and chilled, we're just gonna change the amounts just a little bit. I actually really like what that does. I don't think you can see it with the camera, but it adds some red tint in there, which is very nice because the whole thing for this is Midnight Sun. So, and it says do a float of vodka. Stand by, let me grab a spoon. I unfortunately did not think this whole thing through. Hey, would I have the spoon ready? And, ooh, let me move the vodka out of the way. You can kind of see it. You get the colors with the dark color across. Not necessarily like a Long Island iced tea or things like that. But I can't wait to see how this turns out either. We'll see you back here in a few for a tasting.
Hey, thanks for joining us here poolside at Cabin Fever, Alaska. We're waiting on the midnight sun tonight. It is about 11:35 in the p.m. and it's the solstice season, and we've been waiting for this well, since last year, because, well, it's the longest day of the year. It's just a beautiful time in Alaska. Woo! And thankfully, our friend over at Tundra Witch Doctor in the Kitchen, that's who she is, Tundra Witch Doctor in the Kitchen. She made us some snacks to celebrate. I'll show you what we got right here. This is Pico de Gallo sauce. Now, this is Alaska Pico de Gallo sauce. What's Pico de Gallo? Have you ever heard of salsa? Well, this ain't it. This is salsa. This ain't. Now, what's her trick with the recipe on this Pico de Gallo? What makes it so special? Spruce tips. You see that right there? They come off that pine tree. Now, there's other stuff in here, fresh tomatoes, fresh onions, cilantro, and it looks like some little bits of bell pepper, but look at that. Ooh, that's delicious. That is. You can taste that cilantro come through, and you would think that the spruce tips would be overpowering, but they're not. You can taste them, but it's not overpowering. That's pretty good. I love that stuff. That is very good. Oh, I'll tell you, what do you want on your chip? That spicy ketchup right there? Or some Tundra Witch Doctor in the Kitchen Pico de Gallo. That's tasty stuff. Woo! Now, our drink tonight is a midnight sun. This is very appropriate for the day. Now, she blended that up with some good flavors. I can taste some mango and some peach in there. Timber. And but I think it's a vodka-based drink. It's a vodka, or yeah, vodka, not gin, vodka. Anyway, that's a midnight sun. Not a tequila sunrise, a midnight sun. You remember that. Get one of them. That's pretty good. Not too sweet. You got the fruit flavors, though. Woo. Very good. Well, thank y'all for stopping by my poolside, and y'all have a wonderful solstice season. Bye.
Right, welcome back to Tasting Notes. We have our drinks. Note, it does do slightly better if you do some crushed ice in there, but it still mixes very quickly, so I don't know how it would be to the original Midnight Sun. But we'll try it out. I like this version. It's pretty good. It's sweet, not too sweet.
Nachos.
Pico, homemade pico with some fresh chips. Apparently I've been doing it wrong all these years. Ah! That might be why, it's because I get broken chips. The chip is good. Very good. Fried pickle. A midnight sun in the land of the midnight sun.
Love you.
Love you too. Happy solstice. All right, so yeah, no, definitely do this if you're looking for something light and summery. Since we are in our long summer days, as you can see, I gotta go do some transplants. That's what we do with our time up here. All right, join us again next time.